Maybe we
Yeah.
should maybe we should answer that question while we're recording instead of doing a really good answer while we're not recording and then going, wish I had recorded that.
Yeah.
So let's rewind. Let's go back to those. You said last year you were making ladies.
Last year,
Sounds like you're an evil genius in a lab. I make people. I've got a
so
cloning machine. I made ladies.
yeah, so I started making them because I had gained probably like 20 pounds in the transition from moving across the country and everything. It was stressful. And so whenever I want to work on my body, I find it helpful to draw bodies. So I started drawing these ladies,
Yeah,
like this lady here.
the lunging lady.
Yeah, I made her in like 5 seconds probably, and she's like one of my favorites. And like
That is
this
cool.
lady,
Just just in case, just for the people doing audio only, let's not describe what you're holding up to the screen.
let's not describe.
Yeah, let's not tell them what it is. They're just going, I don't know. What are they doing right now? I can't tell.
It's art, show and tell. Well, so I was just saying to you how when I would make them, I was like in this like flow state, but I didn't, and so I didn't care what the outcome was. But then they ended up coming out so cool, and then I kind of got into my head about it and stopped making them because I was like, oh, what if they're not as good as they, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then I asked you, what is flow? Like,
What
what
is
was I
flow?
even doing? I think I was in it because they just came out so perfectly, but I was not trying to be perfect.
It just happened. So when you would like, do you kind of lose track of time when you're drawing?
Yeah, like I would say it felt like each of those drawings took 5 seconds, but I don't know, it could have taken 28 minutes or 30 minutes. I don't know, but it felt like
Just
nothing.
yeah. So you're like deeply embodied. You'd write in it like a so that's one characteristic of flow, that time dilation. What about total concentration?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Yep.
Yeah.
All right. That's another characteristic. What else? Oh, the probably that one that you're describing there. The you just go from kind of one perfect choice to the next perfect choice. Like
It was just
you're not trying to get things right. You just get it right.
like this color scheme, I feel if you could see it is totally perfect. Like I just love
With
all of the colors.
the kind of purples and yellow and
Yeah, I don't know. Sorry, this isn't. Maybe that's better. But like, I feel like it just came out totally perfect for my image of it, which I
hmm
didn't even have one. And I hadn't, this is from colors of 98 different pastels that I could have chosen. So it's not like there were three choices. There was many choices. And I just
yep.
picked the right ones. It's crazy. It was crazy.
Yeah, that's definitely a flow experience. And then
So what did I
I
do?
c
How do I do it again?
how do you do it again? Just do it. Just start drawing. It's interesting though that you've got the struggle is a to get back into it is a mental struggle. So really, the really weird bit about flow is the struggle piece at the beginning and the necessity of the struggle piece because there has to be some kind of almost like an ick moment before you can get into it. There has so if you so the
Okay.
what is it?
Well,
I'm trying to think it through the four phases of flow. So struggle, release, flow, active recovery. Let's assume that you did the active recovery after you did the drawing. Yet you had a good night's sleep and whatever. You come back. The next bit is always going to be struggle. So there's some kind of struggle to get you to start drawing. So
woo!
you're
There
bringing
we
an
go.
internal struggle to to stop you from starting, and that so probably for you the struggle is all about starting the drawing.
Oh, so it's supposed to be a struggle. I
Yeah.
thought I was just supposed to get into it and be like, blah, 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 this is wonderful. Because actually, now that I'm thinking about it again, how I would start would be on like a scrap piece of paper that was already written on, and I didn't care what what would happen.
Yep.
Like that's how I would first start and like warm up.
Yeah. So so that
Oh,
balancing of the stakes or the challenge skill ratio, uh, what is it? That 104% is the sweet spot. No more than 104% of your capability. Like, so you go to that bit where you just slightly extended, but you're not breaking and it's not falling over. Um, but if you go too far beyond that, you just get anxiety and poor performance. Like you're over aroused. It's too much. It's too much. So if you like, if there's that internal resistance to starting, and you lower the stakes by by putting it on scrap paper, then you're just changing that challenge to skills ratio.
okay. So that is awesome because then it's like giving me permission. Well, then it's saying that I'm going in the right direction, I guess.
Yeah.
Like that it is hard at the beginning. I thought flow was just like, yeah, you're like, flowing.
Yeah. Right. Jeez, all the hippie stuff. It's easy. It's so good.
like
Um,
like there's no struggle at all and
yeah.
you're just flowing. But that's not true. There is the struggle and then you flow.
Always struggle first. Struggle, release, flow.
Oh,
That's
that's nice.
it's
I
one of those
like that.
it's one of those really frustrating things that the internet does, that we produce these false dichotomies. That you go, oh, flow is a standalone state. There's nothing. And go, no, it's a cycle. Just like sleep is a cycle, or hunger is a cycle,
Mm.
or all these ultradian rhythms that we have in our body, that they go through phases. That it's not one thing. It's not a switch that one thing stays on all the time. Remember a few years ago
Mm.
that it was all about the struggle. Like you had to grind everything, and everyone was struggling
I,
every day. And yeah,
yeah, and it's like, you know, when it's so silly like that, where it's like, oh, struggle or oh, flow, it's so confusing
yeah,
because it's either one or the other, but it's not. It's all of them in a different
yeah.
phase of the cycle.
So one of the things that we know about flow is there needs to be some these neurochemical preconditions for everything to happen, and it needs to happen in a certain order. And so we need to
Mhm.
have some adrenaline, some cortisol at the beginning in order
No,
to
cortisol is bad. It's going to give you a fat stomach.
right. You're just fat. You're gonna be middle aged and fat. You're a skinny
Sorry, I
fat.
didn't mean to
You're a
cut you
skinny
off,
fat middle aged man. You're too
but
stressed out with your high cortisol. Need to learn to meditate with your stressful job, mate. Is
okay,
that
I
cortisol?
cut you off because
That's
that was.
cortisol, right?
Wait, say that again.
The stressed out dad with the skinny fat belly, he needs to learn how to meditate to reduce your cortisol. You're too stressed out all the time.
Okay, but I had to cut you off with that one because everyone thinks cortisol is so bad. Not
Yeah,
everyone, so
that's
that's
the
not
common
fair. But
misperception.
yeah,
Chronically elevated, like cortisol that goes up and never comes down. That's quite problematic.
so in flow it will come down.
Well, yeah, once it, yeah,
Okay,
well,
sorry, continue.
actually in release, it'll come down. So
Oh,
that
okay.
phase two. So we need the spike, because when the whole purpose of cortisol is to get energy out of the tissues into the bloodstream, ready to go. So
Okay.
we want all of that sugar in your bloodstream, so you've got energy. You want blood pressure to go up. You want heart rate to go up. You want all of that, all of that spiking because you're getting ready to do something really big. So
Okay.
that struggle. So anytime you can get into that struggle and you get that grindy kind of, oh, this is really hard. Or frustration, anger. They're all of those things that you go, yep, adrenaline's been released now. It's done its job.
Okay.
The release phase is depending on the activity. I think the bit that people struggle with the most, because you're like, yeah, this is really horrible. This is awful. This is hard. but I'm okay with it. I'm not distressed by it. And so it's that leaning in feeling and letting go.
Okay,
You can
so
tell that
number one is like is adrenaline, right?
adrenaline and cortisol together.
Okay,
So
adrenaline and cortisol, and a little bit of anger and frustration feelings. Or is
yeah,
that
it'll
number
often
two?
present as anger, frustration, fear sometimes as well.
Uh-huh.
All sorts
And
like
then,
wow, I'm
okay,
trying to think through now other signs of sometimes you can see like absolute terror and distress and crying. Um, what else have we seen? Like that anger, stomping around, rage. Depends how hard the activity is, but it's
okay,
basically um, what people would present who are highly aroused. So really highly aroused people, that's what you're going to see at the end of struggle.
okay. And then you lean into it, you don't avoid it.
Mm-hmm.
And then as you're leaning into it and going through all of that, you will get to phase two.
Yeah, so phase two is release, and the important neurochemicals in there are nitric oxide and anandamide.
Not dopamine?
So so essentially it's nangs and weed.
Oh, interesting.
Mm,
Okay.
yeah. So it's all of these. So what the net effect is that you have blood vessels dilate instead of constrict. Like with cortisol, they constrict so you can force more blood through and all that kind of stuff. But with nitric oxide, everything expands, and so we get uh, more nutrients crossing over from the blood into the tissues for use. Anandamide is the endogenous, which endogenous just means it occurs naturally within us. It's the version of cannabis that we produce inside ourselves that feels really good and relaxing and pleasurable.
Huh.
So
Fun.
yeah, anandamide is like the bliss molecule, if you like.
That's cool.
Uh,
But nobody's talking about it. Everybody's only talking about dopamine.
dopamine. It's all dopamine. Yeah, you get a lot of dopamine in the next phase because you got all that pattern recognition and motivation and movement or whatever. But up until this point, it's flight and fight stress hormones at the start,
Uh-huh.
and then blissed out and relaxed, and
Hmm.
then you have flow after that.
Okay, and then the flow is that dopamine
Oh yeah, it's all a
or
bunch of
no?
stuff. Uh, I just don't. Yeah, so more dopamine at the start, more serotonin at the end of flow. Um, what else? I never. There's a bunch of stuff going on. It's
So
really
that's
yeah.
interesting. So you can get all of these chemical reactions going in your body. Like I can do this from drawing.
Mm, yeah.
That's so cool.
So what I really love about it is like especially if you're an athlete, you don't and you want to practice getting into flow for your sport. You don't need to do your sport all the time to practice those steps of flow. Like you can practice drawing.
Right.
And because it's a meta skill, not just it's not an acute skill where like if you just I don't know what learning to play chess is a bad example because you can use chess for other stuff, but where the skill you're learning is just good for that game. Like it's not good for anything
Hmm.
else.
Hmm.
But because the skills associated with getting into and out of flow are meta skills, if you learn them while riding a bike, you can apply them to drawing. You can apply them to powerlifting. You can apply them to your job, relationships, whatever.
Oh, oh, that's so cool.
Yeah.
So then I did that today too when I was doing my deadlifts then.
Yes.
Because I did some of the pause deadlifts that you suggested terribly at the
Terribly
beginning.
awful.
They were so bad. um, But then I was able to do reps of 195 pretty easily at
Nice
the end.
one.
So that was awesome
Just found your
because,
groove.
yeah.
So take us through the process then. See if we can map the flow process onto what you did with deadlifts.
Okay, so I did pause deadlifts with 135,
Mm-hmm.
and I have a very tricky area. The area that's tricky for me is below my knees and above my knees.
Right.
So right when I got above my knees, I held it fine, and then I was going to just like fully extend up, but
Mm-hmm.
instead I used my arms.
Why not?
And I was like, no, we're deadlift. We're not doing this pull motion. But it made me aware of the issue that I have
Mm-hmm.
in deadlifts, which is that I'm using too much upper body and not enough lower body. That's been my problem forever.
Yep.
So I was like, so I did it. I thought it was hilarious. So I dropped, like I put the weight down and I got it on film. So I'll show you it. It's really funny. And I'm like laughing at the end. And I was like, all right, just do it again. I did it again. Not as bad, but still not very good in that area. And whatever. It just kept getting less worse,
Mm-hmm.
I'll say,
Less
until it got
worse.
better. Right. And then eventually I got it.
Yep.
And then I was like, cool, let me move up my weight now. And then I moved my weight up and I did the pause deadlifts again with the heavier weight and I got it.
Right.
And I was like, great. Then I just started doing reps. And then I was like, cool, let me move the weight up to do reps of 195. So I went to 185. I did the pause deadlifts with those. They were good. Did reps with 185. Then I was like, all right, I want to do reps of 195. So I did reps of 195 and I was like, oh, bingo bango.
Bingo bango. Woo!
So that was pretty fun. Yeah.
Remember the Z Health elements of efficiency?
Yes, but like I can't list them for you. The perfect form and yada yada.
Perfect
Yeah.
form. So they play out in flow as well. Like you can see it.
Right.
You can see
Balance,
that.
tension,
Yeah,
relaxation.
especially the balance, tension, relaxation.
Yeah.
The response to the challenge being too hard. Like so, if you went too heavy, you lose that balance between tension and relaxation. Sometimes the
Yeah.
balance needs to be like 99-1 in order to do it. But if you mess it up, it's not going to be there. One thing. Oh, the feedback in flow. Feedback is immediate.
Yes. And I even recorded myself, which was great for feedback.
So
Yeah.
with the and there's my big bugbear. I love the videos for confirming somebody was in flow, but I don't like video for as the feedback route to get there. And
Okay.
I'll try and explain why, because everyone loves their phones these days and go, but I'm just using it. I send it to my coach and then they tell me what to do. And I go, well, by the time you get the information, it's too late to be effective. And so those feedback systems, you have to have them internally in order for feedback to become immediate.
Yeah.
And so there needs to be a whole lot of self-awareness and really great proprioception and all those nerdy little things that we don't give a lot of attention to. But if you've got great proprioception and you can give yourself internal feedback, then you're more likely to find flow from lifting weights. If you have to wait for a couple of days for your coach to tell you what the feedback is, then you'll never ever hit it because the feedback is too slow.
Yeah. I mean, I could definitely like when I used my arms, I was like, "What are
Nope,
arms?
that's
Why are
not
we
it.
using arms? What are we doing?"
Have you done this before?
Have you lifted? Like, do you even lift, bro? You
Do
know,
you
like,
even know what deadlift is?
like what? Yeah. So I was thinking of you while I was doing those because I was like, this was great.
It's fun.
Yeah, it felt awesome. So that was cool.
Let's talk about the one of the other characteristics that the move, whatever you're doing, is autotelic.
Hmm?
Have we talked about that before?
No.
All right. So the common bit between drawing and deadlifting is that both of those activities, you find them enjoyable in and of themselves,
Yes.
and you're not drawing to uh, sell them later on, or for marketing, or for anything other than just to draw, right?
So that's what happened. At the beginning, I was just, for fun, and then I'd like take a photo and people would be like, "Ooh, I love that." Oh, blah,
Yep.
whatever. And then I started to use it as something else, and that's when I was like, "Ah." So I have to remember first it's for these purposes.
Well, it's for no purpose. It's just playing, right?
Right. That purpose, play
Yeah.
purpose.
Play is apparently purposeless. So, like we always think. I think mostly when we talk about play, we go to in our heads we go to watching little kids play games in the playground.
Hmm.
Um, Kids playing like the games kids play in a playground, like on the fort or on the the climbing frames, and they're all run around and they make up the games. Absolutely meaningless. Those games have no purpose other than in the game. Doing pause deadlifts. I bet you're wearing a skirt as well, weren't you?
Of course I
Of
was. I had a
course.
great outfit on today. It was actually a great, really awesome, fun outfit. I had my pink skirt on and this like multicolored, cute top,
There you
so
go.
that helped.
So, so deadlifting in a multicolored outfit, part of which is a skirt, has absolutely no purpose in the world, does it? Like it's just fun.
It's just
It's
fun,
just
yeah.
fun.
So
So when I tell these athletes it's meant to be fun, like this is what I'm talking about. Like why when people go, "Why are you doing this?" You go, "Oh, it's just fun." Going, "Are you doing it for something? Are you deadlifting so you can go to the Olympics?" No.
no.
Are you deadlifting to cure cancer? No, no. Could you
No.
could you imagine the one time, like if I deadlift enough, like if I can do this 700-pound deadlift, then I will launch a rocket to Mars. I will have solved the problem. Like if I can deadlift enough, then I'll solve world peace. None of that
Oh
ever
my
happens. Like
god.
just most of what we do in the gym is just pretty purposeless. Therefore, it
Well,
becomes play. It's not You're not doing it for something else. When you do it for, that's work.
right. And then I think that's what makes it not fun for people because they feel like they have to do it because someone told them to for their
Right.
health
Yep.
or whatever. But I mean, if I'm being honest, I do it for my health also. But I mean, there's other things I could do for my health,
Yeah.
but right. So I don't know. Um,
And yeah, and so yeah, the part that you're ticking that box is doing anything at all. And like you said, you could do good mornings, you could do swings, you could do a different type of 58 different types of deadlifts.
yeah.
Um, it wouldn't matter. It's just finding that thing that I guess sparks joy and has that little switch for you. That's what we're always looking for.
Yeah. But what about when it is also for another purpose?
Hmm.
Or should we not connect those two things and just only do it for no purpose? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, well, now you
That's
start.
where I get tripped up sometimes when
Oh, how to explain this one?
yeah, that's a hard one.
Because the connecting it to a purpose is we're starting to talk about motivation then, and so we want that deep motivation. I want everything that I do. Trying to think it through in terms of flow. I want everything I do to be an expression of who I am. and my values, including
Mhm.
when I'm deadlifting. So I
Mhm.
I deadlift. So I lift weights these days. I think because I wouldn't know what to do if I didn't. I think I've been doing it for so long, and I've got so much enjoyment and so much out of lifting, and it teaches me. I think I use the barbell to teach me who I am as well. So then, if I took that away, I'm going, well, I'm kind of missing a little bit of me. The drive now isn't to do it to find some kind of external result. The
Mhm.
purpose is to make myself feel whole or to express myself. So it's
Right.
an internal drive. So we're looking for internal motivation, um, intrinsic rewards, internal locus of control. Like it's all,
Yes. Okay.
yeah.
So I I was I've told you all about Randy Buckley, who's so
Hmm.
awesome with
Yeah.
healthy boundaries for kind people.
So can you say that
And
again, because I found her a little bit difficult to find on Instagram if you want to hunt her down.
oh yeah, so Randy Buckley,
Hmm.
um, her course that I took and then became certified in is called Healthy Boundaries for Kind People. Um, right now she has something really cool going on, which is like a year of healthy boundaries where she sends you an email every week. And it's like very awesome, reflective questions about creating healthy boundaries.
Hmm.
I actually have an affiliate link for that if you want that. But so,
I think I think with the way people, yeah, the way the world is today, everyone should look at your affiliate link.
yeah. So it's quite interesting because she's actually doing research on her body of work right now.
Hmm.
She's getting her doctorate in coaching from Oxford, I believe. And so I was one of the research participants.
Oh, I'm
As
sorry. I'm Cambridge only. I'll only deal with people from Cambridge, no Oxford. No, no. It's a very ancient rivalry. We take it seriously. We have a boat
sorry,
race
all right.
about this every year, and I'm sorry, Oxford. Whatever.
Canceled.
Cancel
Canceled.
her. Cancel her.
Canceled.
I'm sorry. So
but
Randy Buckley, year
this
long
is
thing.
related.
Uh, boundaries are cool. Trees got an affiliate link. Please continue. Sorry.
No, that's okay. So what you're saying with intrinsic motivation, the reason why she was trying to figure out why her work does well for people when other stuff didn't work so well for
Hmm.
them. So that would be me, right? um, and part of it is that her work is really based in self-authorship and your values.
Oh
So
yeah.
yeah, so one of the definitions she has about boundaries is your values in action.
Uh
And
huh.
I love that definition because doing deadlifts is literally my values in action, really.
Yep.
And so is drawing, right? So I guess that answers the question too about like when you're making something like playful and connecting it to something purposeful, right?
Hmm. Yep.
Like that kind of idea of your values in action.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of a really eloquent way to put it. Extrinsic motivation means that you're doing the activity for a purpose, right? So you're doing deadlifts to build muscle
Well, cool.
because if you had bigger muscles, people would like you better.
Yeah.
I think that's the belief in powerlifting. That if you deadlift big enough, people will finally like you. You'll stop being a loser and stop having no friends and go, oh wow, you can deadlift 600 pounds. All right, you can join the club. Come on in. Come be one of us now.
Isn't it crazy how nobody cares how much you lift?
Oh, can I? Was a segue for a bit here. My favorite people would like people that were friends or I knew through work. They would want to know and show interest in what I was doing. They go, "So how much did you bench press?" And I go, 300." And they go, "Kilos or pounds?" And I go, and that's when I realized I go, if I said pounds, they'd be impressed. They'd go, "Yeah, 300 pounds. That's a lot." I go, "No, it's 300 kilos. So 660 pounds, and then they're really impressed. Every single time afterwards, I go, how many times? I go, what do you mean I have to do it more than once? Well, just do it once. That's enough. And I realized they didn't really care, and they've got no frame of reference. They're just impressed that they go, oh wow, you did something and you're impressed by it? Cool. I'll be impressed with you. And I think that's the whole thing about lifting, that the people that are impressed are few and far between.
Yeah.
If there's any young men out there, women don't care how much you lift. Like, they're not impressed. The only people that are really impressed is other dudes. So if you're a young single guy trying to impress women with a big deadlift, the only people you're attracting is other single white heterosexual males. They're the only people interested. They'll go, oh wow, you're really cool. And go, that's not who you're trying to date though, is it?
No, but maybe they could introduce you to someone.
Maybe. No. Unfortunately, it's your peer group. They know all the same people you know. It's not going to work.
I found that with lifting heavy as a woman, a lot of dudes kind of didn't like. So in the gym that I was at, a lot of dudes didn't like that.
Which gym was that? Tell us that one.
So when I used to work at Crunch, so when I met you, one of the first things you said to me was, oh my God, your quads are huge.
You did have big quads. It's like, how much can you squat?
I actually had no idea, because Jeremy would just put weights on the bar and I would just do it. And then he would tell me after. I never knew how much I was lifting, really, except for the 300-pound deadlift, because that was my goal. But with other stuff, I just was like, all right. I mean, I have a general idea of what that looks like. But whenever I would do that, like an average guy who I was most likely stronger than wouldn't like it. Wow. Like Jeremy always liked it or thought it was cool, because he likes that I'm strong. But he would say things like a lot of guys would feel like they'd have to compete with me or something. Sometimes, I mean,
yeah.
Back in the day, it was like my workouts were insane. Like they were crazy. My heart rate was like 54. My heartbeat.
Resting heart rate.
Yeah, it was way too low. But like that's how much I was training, that I had such a low heartbeat per resting heart rate. So anyway, I just like, there's a picture of me deadlifting and this guy looking over like this. But the gym that I go to now in Phoenix is like a serious powerlifting bodybuilding gym.
Yep.
So there's no that there. I think it just depends on wherever you're at. I was like on the Upper West Side of Manhattan, at just like a regular Crunch, not at a serious bodybuilding gym or anything.
I think that's an important consideration, is that culture around you, whether it's fostered or that, like you said, guys feeling the need to compete. It's like,
yeah, I don't feel like at the gym I'm at now it would be like that at all. Like, I feel like it's very much like, oh, cool. And there's so many women lifting super heavy. I'm like, damn, I wish I was here back then, Because I also stopped because I was getting so many comments like, you're so big, I don't want to look like you, I don't want to have your arms, like things like really? That. And yeah, it was not cool.
That was at Crunch.
Yeah.
Wow.
So probably cool. If I was at a different gym, but that was also because I had no boundaries. So I didn't really know what my motivators were. I was just doing stuff. So I don't think I really knew what I wanted at that point. I just lifted because I enjoyed it. But you know what I mean?
Yeah, I follow. Interesting though that I think the reaction of weak men to strong women is really, I always find that fascinating.
You said it. I didn't, but yeah, essentially.
Well, that's what we're talking about, isn't it? Like you look at
Yeah.
there's a page that I follow on Facebook, PTC headquarters. It's a gym in Melbourne, and he posts a lot of like just a lot of straight powerlifting stuff. They're a pure powerlifting gym. They all compete in powerlifting, and so he posts records from within powerlifting. And so anytime he puts up a record of a lightweight woman, you get they seem to be the rage baiting posts. Because if you put something up where it's fairly standard technique from a guy that looks strong, no one comments. But if they put up a 132-pound woman lifting double or triple body weight, then all of a sudden 350 people will comment, and most of them are somewhat negative. And
Yeah, but
or
what are they saying? Like that's bad for you, or like you're not doing it right, or what? Because I would
yeah, they're
get
two
stuff
of the
like
common
that.
ones. Yeah, you're doing it wrong. You're going to hurt yourself. Um,
Can
yeah,
I say something like
yeah,
that?
go for it.
So now that I'm deadlifting again and having so much fun, I'm sharing it with lots of people, even
Mm-hmm.
though maybe they don't care. Whenever they tell me what's new, I tell them about my deadlifting.
What you been doing?
So
Deadlifts. I've been doing lots of
you
deadlifts
want to
lately.
see? Here's me deadlifting. So anyway, I talked to some women in like their 60s, and I tell them how much I'm lifting and whatever. And a common response that I get is, "Oh, be careful," or like something like that.
Mm-hmm.
and and I think it is coming from like a heart place. They're not trying to be mean to me or negative or anything, but my what I'm thinking is like, well, be careful not be careful not deadlifting anything or lifting any
Right.
weight. You know what I mean? I think really that is what you should be careful of. I mean, of course, once you start lifting heavy and doing big numbers, you should be careful. Like you're not just going to recklessly start deadlifting
Oh
heavy
yeah.
weight. There's something about being careful, of course. But I've been, I'm a professional. I think sometimes people don't realize like there are actually strength training professionals.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And I don't mean to be like whatever about it, but this is my profession and I've studied it for a long time. I'm not just like an average
Yeah.
person going into the gym and just playing around. And I mean, playing around is great, but I'm not just like going in there and loading up the bar without ever doing anything before.
Yeah. You're not a 15-year-old boy.
No.
You
Right.
know.
But
You're
so
not that
I
group of
think,
high school kids that goes in there and just goes, let's just put everything on and see if we can get it off the ground. We don't care what it looks like. We just as long as it moves.
right, right. So yes, of course, be careful, but also be careful if you're not lifting weight
Mm-hmm.
because you have to take care of your bones and your muscles. I mean, I don't want to be like rude or whatever, but it's, I think, a true fact.
Mm-hmm. So I've been on the last few years, been on the orthopedics ward a few times because I played sports in my teens and 20s that end up requiring joint replacements. So, oh well, they were fun at the time. Uh,
Yeah.
but that right shoulder replacement, everyone that I've spoken to that had a right shoulder replacement when they were reasonably young, so not in their 60s or 70s, was a tight head prop in rugby. Like we all played the same position. We've all got the
Oh
same
wow,
surgery.
that's
Yeah, it's
crazy.
it's um it's kind of comical. But what I noticed on the orthopedics ward is that everyone there was either sort of my age or young, or maybe a little bit younger. Quite athletic, had a lot of muscle, was looking forward to rehab, and was probably doing rehab already in our hospital beds, a few hours after surgery. That seemed to be the,
Mhm.
the case. Definitely the case for me. When I got up and went for a walk the couple of times I was in there, everyone else in there is really old and they don't have very much muscle mass. And the few people that I got chatting to, because I had the same operation as this really old guy, and he was telling me how his body just wore out over time. And I'm looking at him like the dude had a desk job, didn't play sport, didn't lift weights, didn't do anything like that. And I'm going, well, of course you're going to wear out. I think that's quite likely that if you don't do anything to strengthen your body, then it'll wear out, and you're going to need replacement parts. Obviously, I needed replacement parts because I break them. They didn't wear out; they just broke. But I think it speaks volumes that the people in the orthopedics ward aren't the people lifting weights.
Mm-hmm.
So they were so careful not to hurt themselves that they need surgery later in life.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that whole be careful thing, that you're going to hurt yourself, is really backward. We hurt ourselves by not training.
Yes, that was my long-winded way of saying that.
That was we both like to be long-winded. It works.
Be careful if you're not.
Yeah.
But I think it's funny that all the comments are that, though. I think it makes guys or whoever sometimes feel better to say, "Oh, be careful."
Oh yeah. I read a book when my daughters were quite young about the effects of parents saying be careful. Especially, it was mostly mothers yelling be careful to their kids. And so instead of saying be careful, I would always say like focus or be good at it, or give some kind of technical instruction, because when they're doing something really dangerous, I don't want them to be careful, because careful kind of freezes people.
Yeah.
And alerts you to danger. And so your thinking becomes quite external, going, well, this, I need to look out for danger. Things could hurt me. But if I say, switch on, focus on the horizon, like I'm thinking about maybe they're walking along the fence and they're balancing on the fence. I'm going to give them instructions on how to balance better, not be careful. Because we all know that if they fall off either side, they're going to hurt. It's going to be bad. We're going to go probably to the emergency department with broken bones or something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want that to happen. So I don't want to alert them to danger. I want to alert them to the strength they possess to be able to do the task well.
Right.
So that's the difference between be careful and focus.
Yeah.
Be careful will kick you away from flow, because we're now scared and we end up saying stuck in struggle. You just keep on looping inside struggle because you're being careful.
Right, because you're not doing, it's not an action.
Yes. It's avoiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we want an approach task, which is, all right, we need to focus on doing this really well. And that's what leads to flow.
So then it's good to have an activity be your thing.
I think so. And look at all the flow-inducing activities that people really like. They have some element of fear around them.
Like surfing?
So any of those so-called extreme sports, surfing, skateboard, anything that you can get hurt, anything where there's high stakes tends to be good for flow. Like I always found it was much easier for me to get into flow while training with really, really heavy weights than with lighter weights, because you kind of switch on a little bit more. That the challenge will drive how much you're going to focus, and if you focus deeply enough, flow follows focus. And that key characteristic of flow is the total concentration.
Right. So it's really knowing. So then if someone was just getting into this and they didn't really have super great awareness or proprioception, etc., how would you know what's too hard unless you tried it?
You wouldn't.
Do you know what I mean? Like, because you said you have to be at a certain level of hard.
Yeah. You like, there's that struggle phase. You can. It doesn't have to be on something that you already know how to do and it's hard. It could be brand new, and so it's hard because you've never seen it before. So that novelty component, which the novelty is also a flow trigger.
Okay.
Because when something is novel, when it's new, we pay more attention to it. We've never seen it before. We've never encountered it, so you have to pay more attention.
Okay. So that's interesting because I think some people like a challenge,
Mm-hmm.
but maybe what they really like is being in flow.
Yeah, yeah. That's what.
And I kind of like that better because I'm like, I don't really like a challenge. Like, I wouldn't say that. I'm like looking for a challenge. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
But
there's. I think there's some of us psychos out there that go, I just like doing really hard things, and I get what you're saying because I like doing hard things because they lead to flow.
right. It's so when I was talking with someone and she said something like, she read, you don't have to do everything hard, right? Like your whole life doesn't have to be hard, right? And I was like,
Yeah,
oh, that's a really
I'm
cool.
47 and I'm just learning that.
Right. So I think I finally figured that out too, but I still enjoy flow.
Still enjoy
I
it. Like
won't say,
hard can be fun.
but I think for me, hard is fun
Mm-hmm.
because then it goes to flow.
Yep. Yeah,
Like
absolutely.
if it's just hard continuously and just continues to suck forever, like no, that's
Yep.
not
Yeah.
what I'm interested in.
That's that's that phenomenon where I say people just keep on staying in the struggle phase their whole life and they just keep on kicking themselves back into struggle. Just struggle round and round and round and round and there's never any payoff and there's never any reward. And so that's eventually leads to burnout.
I think I was doing that.
More than likely. Like if you
I
got
was
to that
like,
point where you felt burnt out and had no motivation for doing something that you used to love, then you stayed in struggle for too long.
so how would you like? What are the signs you're in struggle too long?
Oh, too long. Um,
Yeah.
Whew, that's a good question, isn't it? So, well, probably that no payoff. There's never a reward coming. So if
Okay.
the which we really celebrate that in today's culture, the delayed gratification. Um, if you're always delaying gratification for next week, next year, next decade, next generation, you never have the payoff. That's really sucky. Like, why are you doing it? Like, if there's no
Yeah.
reward, there's no reward. And then we need some kind of reward, which is why why I tend to lean towards play and flow because the reward is intrinsic and it's inside the activity. So if you can't absorb pleasure and reward from that activity you're doing and you're not getting an external reward from it, then eventually you run out of energy for that activity. You drain the bank account. There's nothing left.
Right. Yeah. You like. I think that was like the first maybe 30 years of my life. I don't
Yeah,
know.
right. So delayed gratification is still gratification. It's delayed, but it's still gratification is the important word there. It's not
Right.
immediate. Like we don't always want immediate gratification for something. We want some effort to be there to work towards the goal, but we need the gratification at some point. Like it needs to feel good somewhere along the line. And if it
Did you do
doesn't,
that
then
too?
oh yeah, heaps, heaps. Um,
Why did you do that?
why did I? Oh, so many reasons. Um, I know one of them is because I became in love with the idea of struggling. And
Yeah.
like I was saying, like about 10 years ago or 5 years ago, that was a really big thing. Everybody loved to talk about how much they were struggling and it was like competitive, how much you could make yourself suffer. Um,
Competitive suffering.
Competitive suffering, competitive complaining, and going, oh, and it was always, it was the reaction to an immediate gratification culture, like where we always wanted that instant hit. And so being the
Oh,
opposite of that felt really good to be part of the group that wasn't taking the instant hit all the time.
Okay, so it's another case of just swinging it in the opposite direction too far.
Yeah, defining yourself by what you're not.
Yes, I did that all the time, which is why Randy's stuff was so helpful because it was like I didn't have to make myself be anything else except my values and
Yeah,
expressing myself through those.
yeah.
But
And I,
continue.
and
Go
I
ahead.
think this
Yeah.
is why we've talked about this before. I think this is why what Randy does and what I do um, kind of really dovetails together so well. I
Mm,
think your strengths is how you get into flow, and so whatever you're good at, that's the vehicle. And so we develop all these meta strengths through life, whether it's perspective taking or kindness or curiosity or all of those kind of things. That's what we're really good at. And if we're really good at something, we've spent a lot of time doing it, we've practiced it a lot, we practice the things that we find valuable. Our strengths are the outworking of our values, of our deepest core values.
mm-hmm.
So it's the same thing, but a couple of steps removed. It's just
Yeah.
starting at a different point in the cycle.
Right. Like you don't have to work on all of like you don't have to necessarily be good at things you're not good at.
Yeah.
Like
You can
you
just
can
be good
do
at the
the
things
stuff
you're good
you're
at.
good at.
Yeah.
It's okay.
You know that the VIA character assessment? Did I ever get you to do one of those?
No.
No. Oh. Yeah,
What is that? Like
that's how
avatar thing?
no, it's VIA, the letters VIA character.org, and it's a strengths based character assessment.
Oh yes, I did do that.
Yep.
I thought you were talking about I got it confused with AI somehow or
Oh,
something.
everything's AI, isn't it?
Okay, yes, we did do that.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. So those strengths, I think, they're our values. They basically reflect your values. You can work out with each strength that you've developed what's the value related to it.
Hmm.
And so then, if you're doing activities based on your values, you're more likely to get into flow and repeat it. And if you're in flow, you're going to develop those skills 5 to 20 times quicker than if you weren't in flow. So you get really, really good at the stuff that you value the most
Right.
while feeling good and performing at your best.
Yeah, sounds terrible.
Why would you want to
We
do
need
that?
to go back to competitive suffering.
Right. All right. I'm just going to pause the recording just for a second. I need to take care of something. Be right
Yeah.
back.
Okay. Okay.
Did you notice how I waited to resume the recording while you were taking a
Yes,
drink of
thank
water?
you.
I always think that's the meanest bit. It's like, like when you're out eating dinner and someone waits to take a big bite and then they'll ask you a big open-ended question. You're like, ah.
And then you choke, and then
And everybody does the finger, right? Everyone does the finger up. Just it's universal foot. I'm going to just start shaking my head. If somebody asks me a question, go, no.
imagine, imagine if you go, okay. That's just gross, but hilarious. And all.
I'm imagining like half a chewed hamburger just coming back out. It's like, oh, sorry, you asked a question. I didn't want to delay. It sounded, it must be very important because you asked me
You
while I was eating.
literally saw me go like this and then asked me a question. So,
Oh, sorry, I don't want to delay the answer.
oh my god, that's awesome. Awesome.
All right, so we're talking about bound. Yes, I think the boundaries equation is super important for anybody wanting to, like, if you're interested in flow, if you want to be in flow more often, learn boundaries.
Yeah. Did you know that I grew a quarter inch after that boundaries work? I
No,
never
what?
told you
How
that?
did that
Okay,
happen?
so this
No.
at the time the course was 6 months, and at the end
Hmm.
of that time, I started to like look at Jeremy, and I was like, did you shrink or something? And then I would like go to the cabinet to pick something up and I'd be like, why is this just different? You know what I mean? So I made Jeremy measure me like 7,000 times because I was like, this can't be. I've done all of this body work, right? Like with all of the work I've done on my body with everything, I've not
Hmm.
gained a quarter inch. Like, why did that do that? It was so crazy. It was insane. And you can ask him. I had him measure me so many times. He was like, I'm done. I'm not measuring you anymore. And I know because I was 5 feet, 4 inches, and 3/4, which I thought was such an odd height
Hmm.
because I was so close to being 5'5", but I just wasn't. And now I'm 5'5". So it was like so weird.
Yeah,
I don't
right.
know.
Okay. Huh.
Stump ya.
If anybody has a theory, if anybody has a theory or they think they know why, please put it in the comments somewhere.
It was pretty crazy. So that was cool.
I had I had a similar experience, but I know the mechanical forces involved in it. I lost height while I was doing
Huh.
powerlifting. I got shorter. My friend also got shorter, and he's still going. He still puts like well over 1,000 pounds on his back every single week to do the yoke for
Whoa.
strongman. We were the same height when we started powerlifting and strongman. We both lost several centimeters in height from just everything compressing, like our discs
Oh,
getting a little bit compressed, and so we lost height. Um, I've since retiring from powerlifting and not going heavy all the time, my height has come back. I've expanded back out to my old
that's
height.
so
Yeah,
cool.
so my discs finally got a rest and they rehydrated properly and they went back to my old height. So I'm now 185 centimeters again. My friend is still like 181 or
That's
182.
crazy. It's also crazy that you use
Like what?
centimeters. I have no
Yeah.
idea what that means. I'll Google it.
Uh, I think 180. I think 185 is like 6'1",
Okay.
um, and five centimeters is 2.5. 5 centimeters is 2 inches.
Okay.
So like I think I lost an inch and then
That's
gained
pretty
an inch.
significant.
Uh,
Whoa.
very,
Do you think your
very.
hair will grow
Yeah.
back too?
Stop it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you sensitive about that? I don't know. I've only known you
No,
like
I
this, so I don't know.
yeah. I think I started shaving my head when I was 18 or 19 because I saw like my dad was bald at a young
Mhm.
age. I got an older brother by 2 years. He was going bald, and so I decided, well, if I'm going to go bald, it's going to be under my
Gotcha.
rules. I'm going to control it. So yeah, started shaving my head when I was about 19 or 20. Never bothered me. Just never bothered me. The
I mean,
like guys losing their
uh,
hair or whatever. I'm like, whatever. Who
yeah.
cares?
Some people get really. I mean, it's fitting on you. I think. I mean, I don't know any difference. It's like,
Well, I don't know any different either.
that's
Like,
funny.
I never let it grow out. Like, maybe I let it grow out one time just to see how, like, what's bald, like what doesn't grow
Oh,
back at all. And I think, I think I'm really thin on top
okay.
now. Like, I think I'd probably just have, those monks thing, around the
Yeah.
side and the back, and there's nothing growing on top. I think that's what I would look like
Okay.
now,
That could be fun.
or a version of that. We can grow it out. I reckon I could grow a really good
What's
skullet.
that?
Oh, you never heard of
No.
a skullet? It's like a bald mullet. So it's just skull on
Oh,
top, and then you have the big flap down the back.
oh,
So it's a
that's
skullet.
so wild. I had no idea there was a name for that.
Yeah, I'd be like a if I went to the NASCAR circuit with that, I would be a god.
And then did they braid it too?
I don't think I don't think a redneck would ever
Oh,
braid
yeah, you're
anything.
right. That's true.
Yeah, I think they use single strand rope. They don't even braid their rope.
It's funny how we were talking about flow and now we're talking about hair and boundaries.
And and rednecks and ropes. How did we get here? Who
I don't
knows? I
know.
don't know.
But I do want to tell you,
This is the fun of long form
right?
podcasting,
But
right?
I do want to tell you about my monkey bar experience that I think has to do with flow.
Please do.
So I thought about, so I was trying to do the monkey bars and I couldn't even like move one of my hands at all. Like I was like stuck there. So I had Jeremy come and just like lightly hold my waist so that I could go. And then after I did that, I could do it on my own for first, like a little bit, right? So it made me
Mhm.
think about how so much of the gym I feel, a lot of the gym I feel like is inaccessible for people, and there's not that like little help to get them to do the to do the thing. And I feel like
Yeah.
it's not just sometimes for some people it's just not accessible depending on like the level that they're at. You know what I mean? Like so it's like too
Yeah.
much of a struggle.
Agreed.
So they can't get into
Yep.
the flow of it. And I feel like there should be like gyms out there for that are like very dedicated to making it a good experience for people to win every time they go, you know?
Right. That yeah, gyms have to be so broad. I think that's probably more of a an educational thing within our society, like what's possible and what should be expected at different levels, and even what people should be attempting
Wait,
when.
do you know? Sorry.
I Yeah,
Another
you
thing
go.
about boundaries, one other definition of boundaries is expectation management.
Oh
And you just
wow,
said that, like
okay.
expectations. You guys should just have a chat, maybe. But yeah,
Well,
so it's like
yeah, maybe.
expectation management. And I think that that's such a great
Hmm.
definition too, and is exactly what you're talking about.
Can you describe how that would play out in a gym setting? That expectation management, and how is that a boundary?
So let's say a person goes to the gym and thinks that they need to do this 30-day challenge because someone posted that this is a 30-day challenge and you need to do 50 of this and 50 of that and all of this kind of stuff. Um, you're expecting that at the end of this 30-day thing or at the end of this one workout, you have an expectation of what's going to happen. But likely, whatever
Right.
you're thinking, I don't think for an average person who's not been to the gym or exercise to do a challenge that's like way too difficult. I
Hmm.
think you're setting yourself up for something not very good because your expectations don't match. Like everything is just not in alignment with like your capacity, what you can do, and you're just like picking up this general advice that's just not good advice for you at this point in your life, right?
R- yep.
Was that help? Was that clear? Kind of like
Yeah. Yeah. Can you link that a little bit more to boundaries for us? Just help us get over that hump.
so if boundaries are your values in action, okay,
Yep.
and boundaries are expectation management. Let's say one of your values is consistency.
Hmm.
Is this program that you're following going to set you up to be consistent?
Oh,
Like,
okay.
is this like
Yep.
too much of an like, is that not the right expectation with this program that you're doing?
Ah, okay. Okay. Yeah, I
Or
follow
like
now.
you
I follow.
value fun or play, and this program is just super strict and very militant, and you have
Hmm.
no leeway. You have to follow this protocol, this diet, blah 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 blah. That's not in line with your values either. You're right.
Gotcha.
I,
Yep.
I don't
Yep.
think people think that exercise can be in line with their values sometimes. Like they think it has to look like everyone else or someone else on the internet. But
Oh, I think you've hit a really key point there. Definitely.
yeah,
Definitely. I was thinking about where in flow, where would we come into it from? And it would be that the challenge to skills
Hmm.
ratio again. That with that expectation management, the expectation is that you can probably operate 10% either side of your current values, of your current capacity. So when you get, so that's that whole 104% thing again. That if you go much beyond that, if your expectation is really exceeding your current capacity or whatever your value is, then it's going to break you. It's not going. It's going to keep you in struggle, and that will eventually lead to burnout and moving away from that activity.
Yeah,
But if you just take whatever your value is, whatever your current values are, apply them as strengths. So what's the strength in that value? And then you just stay with that extra 4%. What would an extra 4% curious look like in this activity?
yeah,
Or what would an extra 4% of focused attention look like?
yeah.
So it's just those little bits, and then we're setting up the preconditions of a flow experience.
Yes, that's so interesting. Flow is kind of like
Yeah.
boundaries in that way. Like,
Well, it is 100%. I totally agree
that's
with you on
so
that one.
interesting. I never knew that the struggle was so important, but also like important to
Yeah.
get out of it.
The struggle to, I think struggle is seeing things for exactly what they are and no more, no less.
Yeah, and I feel like for me sometimes I think my expectation was that I needed to be in the struggle in order for me to be worthy of something or whatever. Like
Yeah, that's the common belief.
my worth was super wrapped up in the struggle.
Yep. Where do you think that comes from? Like, is that whole middle class work ethic thing that we're meant to work hard all the time? It's meant to be a grind. We're not meant to be having that much fun.
Well, I mean,
We're meant to suffer for our paycheck.
I think through a series of maybe even subconscious or whatever in my family, I noticed that whenever I was having a really good time, it didn't seem to be a good thing unless I was allowed to be having a good time. Like, what are like, what are you so happy about? Or,
Oh, yeah.
okay, so this is kind of funny. Okay, I was an accountant for 6 months, and that was terrible.
I still can't imagine you doing accountancy. It just seems so,
Well,
yeah,
I have my
so
master's in
not you.
taxation, which is hilarious. And I was pretty miserable there. So, um, I was telling my parents about how miserable I was, and I thought maybe I wanted to do something in nutrition or in health or something.
Hmm.
And I remember my mom said, "Look, your dad goes to work miserable every day. What, so." And my dad was like, actually, like my dad didn't agree that he was miserable. It was just, I don't know, it was just this really funny thing. And so I was like, what? Like I think that interaction just sums up a lot. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Man.
And it was just so funny because I thought that if I was miserable, I would get treated well by my family because I was like, look, I'm miserable. I'm doing exactly what you think I should be doing. It was that whole external motivation thing, I had that my whole life.
Hmm.
And it was just one of those things I chased all the time. Was like, it's the same old story of validation and approval and yada yada.
Yada yada.
Blah
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 blah.
blah. That same.
Boring, boring, boring. But
Let's face it though. We live in a culture that um, it seems the norm is to not like your job. I read a stat. I may be butchering it a little bit, but it was about somewhere between 10 to 15% of people wake up in the morning happy to go to their jobs. Like they're doing the job that they love. They're fully engaged in their work. They really want to be there. There's, if you go, I think there's about 65% of people though are just they're punching the
Mhm.
clock every day. They're just turning up for the paycheck. They're not miserable, but they're not fully engaged. They're not their best selves. They're what is it? What are the sayings? They work for the
Okay.
weekend. They've got something else that really drives them. They're like, going, well, I'll do this job because if I do this job and I just keep my head down, then on the weekend I can take my boat out. I can go fishing. I can go do all the things that I
Mhm.
really like doing. There's a lot of people like that, and that seems to be over 50% of the
Yeah.
workforce, which is I find quite disturbing. But if you run the numbers, then that takes us up to 80%. So that means 20% of the workforce goes to work every day to fuck shit up deliberately.
Wait, like, what do you mean?
Yeah. So there's 1 in 5 people hate their job and they're actively working against everyone. They go to work to piss off their colleagues. They go to work to do a bad job. They go to work to stick it to the boss.
What?
They're not there for anything positive. They're going there because they hate everything. They hate their job. They don't want to be good at it, and they're just going there to piss
That's
people off.
wild.
It is, isn't it? It is. I remember when I told Diane this stat when I was reading it, and she goes, "No, that couldn't be." And I go, "That's 1 in 5. That's a lot of people." And I said, "How many people are on your staff?" And she told me, and I go, "So that means that there should be like 3 people on your staff, or let's say 3 or 4 people that it looks like they're actively working against everyone else." And and her eyes have just gone really wide, and she named them. She's gone, "Oh, that's such and such. That's this person. That's this person. Oh my god,
That's
they're real." And I'm going, "Yeah, every workplace you can pick them."
that's wild.
Yeah.
And there was this book. Oh my gosh, it was about how, oh, it was called Bullshit Jobs or something like that. And have you heard of it? Where,
No, but
where
I
it's
like the title.
like people who get paid the most money have the stupidest jobs, whereas like teachers and nurses and whatever have really, this is super important
Yeah.
work. You're dealing with the health of a person, like you're there
Mm.
to like make sure they stay alive, right? And then you're
Yep.
dealing with like the future of your country when you're a teacher, right?
Right. It's
um,
really important,
and
both those
so it
jobs.
was like, because those jobs are fulfilling, people should just do them because it brings fulfillment, and not get
Oh
paid as much as
no.
somebody's job who doesn't bring fulfillment. Like they need to get paid more in order for their job to make sense, that they're even doing it, even though it's nothing. Isn't that
Wow. That's incredible.
wild? And it's actually kind of true. Like sometimes I hear about people's jobs and I'm like, what? Like what? you know? Um, yeah, so it's pretty interesting. But like you
Yeah.
hear about all these, I think a lot of corporate lawyers talk about, there's a lot of quotes from them about how they went into law because they needed to make money, and then they realized what they're doing is not fulfilling except for the paycheck, right? Or
Yep.
whatever.
Yep.
Um, Not everyone, but you know. So,
Well, because of people like that, we have shows like MasterChef. So I'm all for it.
right?
Have you ever do you watch MasterChef at all, or you
I
never
know what
got
you're
into it?
talking
No.
about. You know what we used to watch? We used to
The
watch this Masters Inc. and it was like these tattoo artists.
the tattoo. Yeah, was that with Dave
I
Navarro?
don't
Wasn't it?
remember. It was so long ago, but I remember that was really
Ink
Ink
Masters.
Masters. Yes,
Yep.
that
Yeah,
was
I love that
fun.
show. So I find those reality TV shows where they're doing some kind of art or something creative, everyone seems to have the same story. They go, "Oh yeah, I was a corporate lawyer, or I was a banker, an accountant, just something that typically unfulfilling." And they go, "Yeah, I did that for like 20 years, and I hated it. And I'd come home and I'd cook every night, and so now I just want to be a cook." And so those shows seem to be all of these people going, "You know what? I've been doing a job that um, hasn't been me. It doesn't reflect my values. It sets me up for burnout. It's not me." And then they all go off and they live their dream and they open a restaurant or a cafe or a microbrewery or something really cool. I know hundreds of
Yeah,
stories like that. I know very few people that started out that way and gone, "You know what? I decided at the end of high school I was going to follow my passions and I wasn't going to do anything that compromised on my values."
yeah,
I don't hear that story very often at all. And I would love to hear more of that
right.
story.
It would be, I remember actually in high school deciding between going to an art school or not. And I got
Hmm.
so freaked out that I copped out because I was like, okay, if I go to an arts, I was so worried about making money, essentially, even at
Yep.
18, when you're not really supposed to be worried. I feel like that worried about making money, you know? I don't know, maybe you are, but I was super concerned about that. And I thought,
Hmm.
okay, if I go to an art school, I could always do graphic design because graphic designers make money. I could work in an ad agency and yada yada. And then I was like, well, if I'm going to sell
Hmm.
out, I might as well just be an accountant and not make art something I totally hate. You know what I mean? So, so,
Okay.
so
Well,
that's
that
what
was
I did.
wise.
But, and also art school is super expensive and all the materials are very expensive. So I was very financially minded.
Hmm.
But actually, I would say, in terms of values, I think, like, let's say I could picture Randy asking someone, like, what are your values? And someone might say financial security is a value. And so, like, going to a job that they don't necessarily love, but they feel like that financial security value being secured, that would be in line with their value. You know what I mean? So it's
Yep.
interesting because there's so many parts to it.
Yeah. And fortunately, we don't have just one value. We
Yeah,
have many, and they change, and we rank them all the time. And
right.
um,
And
I think what you're starting to get into there is go how long can you hold a value that conflicts with another value?
right. Well,
Like financial security is really important, but also creative expression is really important, and which one
yeah,
wins? And they seem to be a little bit mutually exclusive at times. I think that's the
yeah.
hard bit.
And I think also depending on like your season of life, your capacity, and all of that kind
Hmm.
of stuff. Um, what I like about the way Randy talks about it is your values can and do change over time. Like, which I think is
Yep.
great because I'm so scared of being a hypocrite, I think.
Yeah.
And
Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I can change my
That's fair.
mind. Thank God, because I don't want to do that anymore. Right.
So tell me about your podcast because I'm going to be a guest on it, right? So what am I going to expect when I come on your show?
So my podcast is called Body Stories, and
Hmm.
I interview people about their body if they want, or their body of work. So we could talk about either of those things. I have a lot of questions for you, um, but I
Okay.
don't. But I'll ask you before in case you don't want to answer any of them because boundaries are really important.
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
I le- I was thinking I had someone on the other day, uh, and I asked her, like, you know what I'm like. I'll just keep on asking questions until you tell me to stop. And she was great because she goes, "No, I don't go beyond there." I'm like, "Awesome, that's so cool." Like to see she's very generous with everything, and then ask her one layer beyond what she was comfortable with, and she just goes, "No, don't answer that one." I'm like, "That's so cool. That's really what's the word?" It was refreshing to see somebody know what their boundaries were, and just be very, very clear on yeah, right up until that point I'll share
Yeah,
whatever you want, but I don't share beyond that point. I'm like, oh,
right. And
cool. I'm really down with that. That was
that
awesome.
is so awesome. So that reminds me of two things that I learned, which was one of them was never offer what you hope someone will decline,
Never offer what.
which I
Oh,
used to
okay.
do all the time. Like, oh, do you want me to pick
Oh,
you up from the airport? I
give some
hope you
example.
say no. I really don't want to pick you up.
Uh huh. Oh man. Yeah.
Right? So I love that one. And another one is sometimes you don't know what your boundary is until it's crossed. So it's kind of
True.
like this idea that you have to know all of your boundaries, but you sometimes you just don't until it happens and you're like, "Oh, I didn't like that." No, you know,
Yeah. Someone pushes up against a boundary that you didn't know you had, and you're like, oh no, that's yeah,
yeah,
that's a
like
boundary. That's
right
right
there.
there.
We're not doing like that's not going to happen again. I did not like that. So it's like that self-awareness, right? Of like doing the pause deadlifts. Like you don't know
Mm-hmm.
until you're doing it what is going to happen or what you're not good at or what the situation is, right?
Right. Sometimes you understand what the target is by missing it.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
You got that guy from the States. I know he lived quite some time ago. Yogi Berra. He was a
Uh-huh.
baseballer, and he is baseball manager, I think, or something. I don't know that much about him. I just know he had some really
Hmm.
awesome quotes, and I couldn't quite tell if he was a genius or he's a bit of an idiot. Um, and they're my favorite quotes. You're like, did you mean to say it that way? Because that the way you just said it is really insightful, wise, and profound. But it also sounds like you made a mistake saying it that way. So I'm not
Right.
sure. He was that guy. And so he said something about goals. I was looking at this quote about goal setting, and he said the importance of if you don't have a target, how do you know you've missed?
Wise.
Something like that. I'm like, yeah, okay. So the goal isn't always to hit the target, but as long as you've got a target, you know if you're missing it
That's
or not.
interesting.
Because otherwise, you can think you're just constantly hitting the target. If you have no target,
That's
everything's a hit.
interesting. Okay, I have a question about that. So, in flow, do you have a target? Okay,
Yes,
what? What is
absolutely.
that?
Yeah. Well, it
So if
depends
I'm
what it is.
deadlifting,
Depends what.
is my target deadlifting 225 twice? Is that my target? Oh,
No, that's an outcome.
okay. So what would be the target?
Or so normally the goal or the target is the cue.
The cue?
Yeah, whatever cueing we give, that's normally what we focus. So the goal or the target is whatever we have our singular focus boiled down to. So whatever you're concentrating on, that one thing that you're focused on, that's the goal.
Huh. So then it would be like not using my arms or using my hips better.
Well, that's the or using the hips. So what are you trying to do when you're doing a pause deadlift? What are you focused on?
I'm, I'm focused on,
Talk me through the
I
moment.
want it to be faster, so I'm using my legs more. I feel like I'm too slow and I'm
Okay,
using
so that's
my arms.
performance.
Huh?
That's the performance goal. That's the outcome goal. So what's the process goal?
I think I don't know.
Ah, okay. And not knowing is all right because obviously now you've got your focus is narrow enough, so it doesn't have to always be laser like and like this singular spot of attention. Which, uh, when I was at the top of my game with bench pressing, I was only concerned what my little fingers were doing. So it was all about my pinky fingers. That's all I concentrated on.
Okay.
Um, but at different stages of development, you need either a broader or a narrower cue. And so for you, just move fast, that internal cue of like, what it feels on the inside to move quickly and the bar will come with you. That's enough of a cue for you to be able to hit flow,
Okay, so that's not an outcome,
right?
moving fast.
That's moving fast ends up being an outcome, but being fast, that's the internal
That's
one.
the focus.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So then withdrawing, what would it be then? Like if
I don't know. What you tell me? What are you focusing on when you're drawing?
um
Interesting. It's really hard to. It's don't worry. It's a difficult question when you go. What do you focus on when you're drawing? Sometimes you don't want to play with this too
okay.
much. So I'm just going to give you some
Yeah.
broad examples because if you start playing with it too much, you can pull yourself out because you realize, oh, that actually isn't my
Okay.
focus at all. Do you start with an image in your head of what you're trying to recreate, or are you trying to recreate a
Um
feeling? Are you trying to
I always
recreate an
I
idea or a
always have
concept?
an image that I'm copying.
Right.
Always.
Always an image. Right. So every artist works. I go by. I'm trying to always paint a feeling, and so I'll do something and look at it, and I go, "Ah, that's not quite it."
Right.
And then so so you go round and round. That that how Tad talks about the
Uh-huh.
niche spiral, and you're spiraling inwards towards the goal. Same thing in flow. That's what our goal is. We have this idea, this expectation, I guess, of what things could be like. And so we keep on having shots at it and going, is that how close is that?
Okay. So like
And then you do micro adjustments. And then when you get to the point at which you're going, the feedback is that you're on track. Keep going, and you're not getting any of those, not having to adjust. That means that you're probably in flow
mhm.
now because you're not aware of having to make
So
corrections.
actually it's interesting whenever I was making those female figures, I always had an image that I liked that wasn't exactly it, but it was like
Hmm.
a good guideline of like the motion that I wanted or the pose or whatever.
Hmm.
And then actually my focus was making it as ugly as possible, and then it would come out amazing. Is that
Really
weird?
interesting.
Like my goal was to make it ugly, but really I wanted it to be pretty. I don't know if that makes sense. Like I feel like I was reverse psychologying myself, that I gave myself permission, like that if my goal was to make it ugly and I made it pretty, that was really what I wanted.
You were lowering the stakes.
Yeah, I maybe I had a
You
really
low.
low
You
expectation.
made it. Yeah. You balanced that challenge to skills ratio.
Okay,
Yeah. Um. How do you think you would have gone if you were trying to make
horrible,
it pretty?
horrible. Whenever I
Yeah.
try to make
Too
something pretty,
stressful.
it comes out awful.
Yeah. Challenge is too high.
Yeah,
It means too much at
yeah,
that point. So the arousal is too much. It's hard to get the skills out in that high arousal state.
yeah.
So you just lower the stakes a
Right.
little bit. Let's make it ugly. Oh, well, I can make it
Yeah,
ugly.
and then it
I'm good at that. That's easy.
And then, yeah, sometimes it does come out ugly, but most of the time it would come out like, wow, oh, cool, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. So that's kind of the release phase right there.
um,
Yeah. Like the struggle is doing anything at all. And the release is, well, it doesn't have to be perfect. I can just drop down, make
right.
it ugly. And then if I drop down into that and make it ugly, oh, I can do this for the next hour and a half and not notice that any time has passed.
Yeah,
Because in flow, action and awareness begin to
yeah,
merge. Outside of flow, we do the action and then we look at it, we get the feedback, and that's where our awareness is. It's a long
mhm,
cycle. In flow, all we're doing is shortening that cycle. So as you're doing something, the feedback is
yeah,
instant. Like you know that, yep, this is it. I'm using this color because I just know it's
yeah.
the right color.
And
And you're just going from near perfect decision to near
yeah,
perfect
and
decision.
it's so weird, but so fun.
Yeah, right.
It's like, how did I do that?
I like it in yeah. I like it in a sporting context when you hear like basketballers when they get into flow and they go, can't miss.
Yeah.
I tried to miss, can't do it. Just whatever I do, I throw it up, ball goes in. I'm just
You
on.
know what? This reminds me of when I was on a softball team once. I think it was I don't know, 13 or 14 or something. So it wasn't like high school yet. Anyway, there we were pretty good, but we were kind of the goofy team that was
Mm-hmm.
always playing around and like not taking it seriously or whatever. But what we did,
Yep.
like we did practice well, and we whatever. One time we were playing this team that was very good, and they all had matching uniforms, matching socks, matching shoes, matching duffel bags. Like when they came in, they were like all matchy matchy, and they were like
Mm-hmm.
practicing so seriously. And I remember at one point, one of the girls on my team was like on the back of another girl on our team, and they were like she was giving her a piggyback ride, running around, and like we were like playing catch, and like we were just we were just playing around, and we ended up crushing them so hard. The other team, like they had I think 0 or 1 run, and we had to stop the game because we had like 11 or 12. It was crazy. And I
Oh wow.
think everyone expected that team to win because they were so uniformed and organized and like
Yep.
serious, and we were so silly.
Not. Yeah.
But we were having so much fun, and I think we were in flow in that game, and we had no idea that we were in it. It was so fun.
Gr- Yeah. Group flow experiences are just the best. And when, yeah, I love that about team sports. And I think that's why people play team sports so much and we gravitate towards it because when you have an individual flow experience, yeah, it's cool, it's really fun, and it's great. You learn a lot, it's super productive. But I think there's something extra about a group flow
Hmm.
experience.
Oh, that must be what I'm getting
Um,
in my choir. That's so fun.
yes,
Oh my God,
absolutely,
when we like,
absolutely.
because the conductor, I never knew what a conductor really did, like, but apparently, like, his arm motions do mean things and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, this is cool, He's like telling us what to do and stuff. And so,
So shared language, that's that shared language. We all speak the same vocabulary.
yeah, it's really cool. And then when it's like,
You all become very familiar with one another.
it's really, really been so fun and so cool. And
Yeah,
so I thought it was like just that I was singing because I like singing so much, but it has to be part of that flow thing too, where we're all
yep,
like,
definitely. You've all got you've got very very clear
mhm,
goals, and they're shared goals. Everyone has the same goal. You're all working towards the same
right?
thing. Um, everybody's contributing at the level that they feel
Yes,
comfortable.
because we're not, yeah, we're very welcoming. So it's like, you can be at any
Yep,
level. Hmm.
yep. Um, yeah, there's all of those, and then all the individual triggers as well. But those group triggers of the common language, familiarity, everybody contributing at the level that's most appropriate. Uh, we know why we're there and what we're trying to get out of it, and you're getting immediate feedback all the time because you can hear yourself, you can hear the other person singing, so you're not waiting forever and ever to find out if you're good. You sing a few bars and you know if you're any good, like you know if it's the way it should be, and so yeah, flow singing is very very flowy, especially singing in groups
Yeah, that is so,
because it's completely immersive, isn't it? Like you lose
yeah. And
yourself.
if you are like trying too hard, you will you will have that experience where you're not getting it because you're
Yep.
not,
And if you're not getting it, no one else gets it either. You block everyone
right?
else,
So it's really
right?
funny because you can really feel it. Like whenever we get a new song and nobody really knows what, it's like new and we're all kind of figuring it out. It's like choppy and whatever. I guess that's the struggle, right?
Mm-hmm. That's the
Yeah.
struggle
And
phase.
then you practice it, you listen to it, you get some cues and whatever. And then like, oh, we got it. Oh, that sounds nice. Like, oh, he's happy with it.
There you
Like,
go.
it feels good here. Like, it sounds nice. Right? Actually, it's
Yeah,
pretty cool. I never realized that that was a flow thing.
yeah, that really is. That really is. Makes me realize how much I become that guy that goes, yeah, that's flow, 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 flow. Like everything's flow.
And I like everything's
Not everything's
boundaries.
flow,
So that's me.
but you can map everything to, like you can map it to the flow experience or the flow
Yeah.
cycle. Um, especially when you tell people to go. Most people do the first quarter of the flow cycle and just never move on, which is what we're talking about before with struggle, struggle,
Hmm.
struggle, struggle. Um, so everybody starts the flow
Oh.
cycle, no matter what. Yeah, whether you get to that peak state, it's like everybody starts walking up the mountain. Not everybody makes it to the
Hmm.
top. So the flow is that peak experience where you're at your best
Hmm.
performance wise and you feel your best as well.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all it is. It's not magic. It's not mystical. It's
Yes,
not
it's
woo woo.
magic.
Um, it is. It feels magical, though, doesn't it?
So
Um,
can you
but once you, yeah, you go on.
overdo flow?
Yes, absolutely.
Because I
Yeah.
want to do it all the time now. That we're talking about it. Like, can you do it every
Well, that's
day
the
or
that's the
not?
thing. Well, yeah, you can do it every day, a few times every day. You can look at it in micro flow or macro flow experiences. Uh, like I'll try and set up like a block of work. If I've got 90 minutes of work to do, I'll try and set it up as a flow experience because I know the work will be better if I do get into flow. But if I don't, I'll still complete the work. So a lot of that is setting up my environment so there's no distractions. I've got clear goals. I've got a game plan. I'll separate strategy from execution. So I'll know what I'm doing before I do it, and then I'll go in and just do it. What else do we do? There's a few rituals that might promote flow more readily. What else do we do? And then there's a lot of little hacks, I guess you could call them. When I realize I'm getting frustrated, so I'm getting to that bit where I go, all right, I'm getting to the top of struggle. I want to release now, and so I'll, depending on the activity, I've got stretching that I'll do, making a cup of coffee, taking a shower, going for a 5 minute walk, doing all these different type of activities just to break things to be able to then drop into flow. Um, the big bit, I think, in that one, if you want to be in flow all the time, where people fail, is the fourth phase is active recovery. You need to that's where people mess up because if you try and go from flow back to struggle without recovery, you haven't replenished all of those neurotransmitters and all of that glycogen that you use while being in flow, because flow is a super high energy state. You need to
I
recover from it.
just made a post about this because I
Oh,
did.
did you?
Because people
There you
talking
go.
about consistent strength training and overdoing training and over exercising. One of
Hmm.
the reasons is you just never recovered or made that part of your practice, right? So, what are
Yeah.
some recovery for flow?
Sleep.
Really? Just like that's
Yep.
number one.
Number one, 7 to 9 hours sleep.
Hmm.
That's the number one for everything. Like working with bodybuilders, strength athletes, powerlifters, whatever. First thing I'll ask is ask about sleep. How much sleep you getting? What's the quality like? Do you have a sleep routine? All of those kind of things. Because if you're not recovering, you're not ready to go the next day.
So, what about people? Because in courses, I feel like we've talked about this where people have real sleep issues. And sometimes, like,
Hmm.
bringing that up, that's like the worst thing ever, makes it more stressful that they don't sleep well. Um,
Yeah. It's normally something that they're doing while awake that's stopping them from sleeping, and it's normally that they're doing too much of something and they're staying in a struggle somewhere.
hmm. So then, how do you recover from that?
Oh, it depends what it
Okay,
is. Like there's a whole
let's
bunch of
say
stuff.
I feel like one of the
Um,
most common things is overthinking and just going in loops in your brain. And
all right.
so what if somebody was doing that and then they couldn't
Um,
sleep because they're overthinking?
yoga
Huh?
nidra. Yoga nidra. So I do in that situation, and I've been there when so obviously after my brain injury, years of insomnia, if I couldn't sleep, I could do yoga nidra, which is just meditation, but it's like a deep rest. Uh, Sometimes it gets non-sleep deep rest. It'll be called. So I'm resting deeply without actually quite falling asleep, but I'm getting as close as I
Huh.
can. And so that's like the next best thing. I'm just practicing relaxing. I'm practicing resting. While I'm not sleeping, I'm getting something.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. So it doesn't need to be. So sleep doesn't need to be perfect. We don't want to kill all of our cool boundaries by having an unfair expectation around
Yeah.
sleep as well. So we manage that expectation of how well you can progress on sleep, and how much effort you can put in, and what's a likely reward from the work. But if all you did was manage your day by trying to make you sleep better, you're probably going to have a really great life.
Right.
Right. So if you do all the behavioral basics, like, okay, so we need to wake up at the same time every day, close to sunrise, and then get out of bed and get some early morning sun. So like, really? So you're going to you're going to wake up and you're just going to sit outside and watch the sunrise. Oh, that's terrible. That's horrible. Why would you want to do that? Um, you know, so you go, oh, so you start your day with just 20 to 30 minutes of watching the sunrise. You go, yeah,
So
okay.
even if like,
That's gonna help you sleep better
yeah.
that night. If you then do the same thing at the end of the day and watch the sunset for
Mhm.
half an hour, then you've had 2 points in your day where you're just sitting down and resting and setting up the preconditions internally. So with the neurochemicals, with melatonin timing, with cortisol timing,
Mhm.
with all of that, you're setting up the preconditions required for sleep.
So even if someone goes to bed at like 1 a.m., they should still wake up at the sunrise?
No, they should wake up at the same time every
Oh,
day.
okay. Just at the same time every day. Okay.
Yep.
Is it
Yep.
bad to put an alarm on and then have it go off for an hour before you wake up?
Yeah. Yeah.
Does that like mess up stuff in your brain or something?
Oh man, it's got to. I don't know what it would be messing up, but I don't think it's helping anything.
That's what I do.
Oh really? Why not just set your alarm for an hour later?
I am so weird. I don't know. I feel like I don't know. There's some weird thing within me that's like I don't want to do what this beeper is telling me to do. So I have to. So I set my alarm for an hour before I want to actually get up, so that I can wake up at the right time.
So maybe on that one, it's just like leaning into the flow cycle and going and realizing that the struggle every day is getting out of bed, and rather than waiting for getting out of bed to feel good, you do it when it feels lousy, understanding that it just feels lousy, that
Oh
it's a
my god,
struggle,
I never thought of that. I just wanted to feel. Does
right?
anyone wake up and they're like, oh yeah, like, woo, this is great?
I'm sh- I'm sure people like that exist. They're not me. Then it's not people that I
That's
hang out with.
actually great advice. Make that be the struggle part
Yeah,
of the flow experience. I could get behind that. I'm gonna
yeah.
try
Just
that tomorrow.
realize that the first 10 to 15 minutes of your day are probably going to be a little bit, you know.
That's so fascinating. I think I'm gonna apply.
I know for me, things change when I walk outside. When go and stand in the sunlight, that's the point at which I start feeling
Well,
good. And I realize everything up until there just feels like rubbish, and I go, why would the world leave me alone? Let me sleep. I liked being
no,
asleep.
okay, this is gonna sound even crazier, but right when my feet hit the floor and I'm standing up, I feel fine. It's just that point getting like
Wow.
once I'm up, right, and walking, I'm like, oh, okay, no big deal. It's
So,
the
so you don't even need to do much. You don't even need to struggle much to
I
feel good.
guess that's even more. Maybe I'm not in such a bad spot.
Maybe not. Maybe you just need to go, all right, yeah, the first 10 seconds of my day don't feel good.
Oh my god, how silly! That is hilarious.
Wow. There you go. Having solved Theresia's sleep issues, they decided to end the
That's a great
podcast.
place to end.
Goodbye.